you were faced with a pretty unique challenge while you were at Campbell. The company's products had long been one of the symbols of comfort here in the United States and globally. But there became an increasing demand for healthier choices in that particular market. Those two ideas seem a little counter to one another. How did you end up handling the situation?
Well, I sort of reject that notion. I mean, that's the interpretation of it, and that was the interpretation of it by a lot of audiences.
Right.
Our product, I mean, we were selling tomato soup, vegetable juice, and bread. That's what our company sold. I don't look at those things as being horribly unhealthy.
Right.
All right? I never did. So I reject the notion. That having been said, there were people that were concerned about the sodium in our soups. There were people that were concerned about some of the sodium in our vegetable beverages, and we had to address that, and we did over time. But you know, I think our portfolio had good qualities from the beginning to the end. I think that it's better today. I do think every organization has to be tuned into the environment in which they're operating. And you do have to have a continuous improvement mindset. You know, how do we meet the needs and wants of our consumers faster, better, more completely, and more uniquely than anyone else? You have to ask yourself that question. You have to ask that question every day. And in our case, consumers were asking for us to lower the sodium levels while maintaining the taste. And not an easy thing to do.
No.
In fact, we've gone too far at times where we've tried to lower the sodium levels to make activist groups happy, but then nobody wants to buy the product, you know, because they actually have to eat it. So, and so we walk that tightrope all the time. But the notion, if you're in a consumer packaged goods space, and I assume in any space really, you have to focus on meeting the needs of your consumers faster, better, more completely, and more uniquely than anyone else. And that's what we did at Campbell. And it was more than just nutritional qualities. People in food look for 5 things. They look for taste, nutrition, convenience, variety, and value. And you have to be constantly innovating on all those dimensions. We were selling soup and having people prepare the soup the same way for 100 years. It was a can of soup, you pour it in a pot, you add water, and you make soup. The microwave was invented in 1947. It took us until 2002 to think about putting soup in a microwave container. Why it took us 55 years to get to that point, I don't know, but we had to be more relevant to today's consumers, and we created a microwavable platform that today is hundreds of millions of dollars of new business. And so we had to improve on the convenience dimension as well as the wellness dimension. But we also had to have the right variety, we had to have the right value. So it's a complex equation.